Good evening. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday night. So, excuse me for me coughing right off the bat. This often happens. It's like cleaning all the channeling. Why I can't do that? Why they don't do that before? I don't know, but they don't always. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's ended up quite nice here after lots of cloud and some rain the last few days. So that's really great. My flowers are looking beautiful. Which you can't see because I have a blind down here for my homemade studio. Tonight in the God card, it says, an infinite variety of exciting possibilities are available to me right now. And then on the back side, I have to show this because it's mostly a little pictures. This is all in your mind. So take a look at that. Oh, hang on. Why isn't that showing? That's weird. It's not showing at all. It doesn't usually happen that way. Oh, well, whatever. It's one of those days. I went out and I bought a new phone. So now I'm having trouble having it put in the, answering because I want my own words. And the print isn't quite right here where I want it. So that's all right. I've got a really nice guy that I work with in the telephone store. So I guess I'll be going back and saying, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do the other? Because I can't figure it out. Greatest thing. But anyway, trustingly, it'll take good pictures so I can use them for my shorts when we get back into that again. So I've got a few people listed on the list. There's some waiting already. So I'm presuming Marion isn't on there, but I'm presuming she is beginning with the bowl, which the Tibetan bowl, which just keeps us all focused on where we're going. Now, it's Karen Lee. She says, hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet up with you all each week. I talked to Karen Lee earlier today. So I have a treatment for her. I haven't put any numbers in here, but I'm going to do right now. So I've got, pick these out of the sky, as you know, 3, 17, and 6, love, balance, and some confusion. What I see, when people have a loving heart and you want to do the best for everything and all which ways that it goes, it's about creating the balance of your energy. And one of the things I think us as, males, but as women, mothers, etc., we have to learn we usually learn over time how to balance the energy so that we don't crash and burn or burn out or be too exhausted and things like that. So very often when we have all this compassion and awareness and we want to help and we want to do things, then how do we balance the energy? And I know in the last year and a bit that I've had to really deal with that, figuring out how much I can do and how much I can't. Because if we don't watch that, what ends up happening, we end up in confusion because we get tired. And then the whole energy thing doesn't always work the way we want. Oops, I banged the table again. It was one of those days, I guess. So I'm just going to do a treatment here for Karen Lee for inner and outer support for dealing with the mother and other things. So, okay, here we go. I know there is one power in one essence, and I know that all of us have connection to that if we choose it. I've chosen it many years ago to have that energy work through me for those that require it or wanting it, etc. Therefore, I speak my word for Karen Lee, knowing that the inner and outer support, the inner of herself, but outer support from others for dealing with whatever's happening, and especially at this time, her mom, that she has strength, she has purpose, and she's very aware of how much energy she has and how much energy she can expand or not. I give thanks for knowing this as the calmness comes in, bringing in calm and a sense of purpose and a sense of direction. So I give thanks in knowing this, that it is a sense of being that Karen Lee has within that can be brought forward to create a balance and create a sense of purpose and knowing that she is important. And in that importance, what we find is that we redeem our sense of ourselves. And I give thanks for this as I release this thought, knowing it is true, knowing it is done. And so it is. I'm also going to do a treatment for Karen's mum, which is basically all about just accepting the next steps. That's really what's needed. Okay. So I'm going to do 5, 20, and 3. 5 is needing more knowledge, more awareness. 20 is really accepting the energy inside. And 3 is the love vibration, which is always there. So we say, I know as I speak my word for Margaret, that she is coming to terms and accepting her transition, letting go the fear of it, letting go the anxiety actually that's creating inside, the anxiety of how, what, when, and where, and being afraid. It's about stepping, and I just want to put this into the treatment, is that it's like stepping into a different world where everything opens up, where there's lots and lots of love. And in that awareness of the lovingness, it's a knowing that you deserve to accept that. So often we don't know we deserve to have it. Therefore, it is knowing that that force, that loving force, whatever you want to call it, is there to support you and love you. And when you feel it, you don't have to run from it, but to embrace it. So I know as I speak my word for Margaret at this point of time, that there is acceptance of the transition that is there waiting for her. And it is waiting for her, but she's running away. And it happens to a lot because it's a fear. They're not used to, people who are not used to dealing with the love force or dealing with God, if you will, whatever you want to call it, in a sense of acceptance and embracing. It gets very fearful because it's something unexpected, and they don't know what's coming next because nobody's been trained for the steps as to what's happening when you transition. And so I just really want for Margaret is the letting go and allowing that love. And I just want to say, as I move this whole awareness for her, that she accepts that and relaxes in it and allows herself to transition easily. Makes life easier on the other side when you go easily. I give thanks in knowing that this is true for her. I give thanks in knowing that she is ready to accept the transition, that she is ready to let go. And we take away all the worry, the concern, the anxiety, the what ifs, maybes, and perhapses that we came up last time, I think it was last week. We just let them go. And we just surrender to the light, surrender to love, surrender to knowing that you've got mega people on your side there. They're all waiting. You know, it's all waiting. Let's have a big party. And you're dilly-dallying. So let go and have your big party of welcoming all those people that have gone before you. Blessings. And we release this knowing it is done. It is true. Transition into the party, please. Much love. Okay, I have Kayla here too with a number. Okay. I know, excuse me again. Let me have another drink of water. What? I know that as I speak my word for Kayla, that we're aware of that wonderful power that is there. And by speaking my word into the power, I'm going to call it the power line for Kayla, that all the underlying issues, really the infections plus more joyful path happens. It's a letting go. It's like shedding. It's like those animals that shed, snakes do it too. They shed their skin and they're new. And sometimes we've got to shed the skin without sounding like beating a drum. But a lot of the transformation work I do is about that, is letting go the emotion that's always there, that, has been there for a long, long time. It's about seeing the possibilities of another way of doing it. And so this one here, I know Kayla didn't give me numbers, but I, as usual, wrote some down. It's like sometimes life crashes in on you, and the key here is the inner core is love and the acceptance of your own love, the acceptance of the way it all works together. I know that there is a joyful path. I know that these infections, which I'll talk about in a minute, actually, allow a whole sense of purpose. I haven't had this thing in my throat all day. Somehow or other, we have to clear that. So I know that it's cleared now so that we can move on. So that Kayla, often I wonder when I have this happen if we've really got the correct thing here. So let me just think for a moment of the numbers rather than the words that were written. It is allowing of the unexpected circumstances that come up in life, that we recognize that everything adds and all is love. And so we accept that. And in accepting that, everything becomes clear so that these infections and things like that just dissipate. I give thanks in that knowing. And so we say, and so it is. Let me speak my word now for Connor. As I think of the vibration of Connor, I wrote 3 numbers, 17, 2, and 6. Again, balancing the energy because there's a decision to be made here. And the decision is creating conflict. The decision is creating uncertainty. And so it is incredibly important that he begins to see his worth, his ability to be and create for himself. And it's kind of like stepping into the maturity element of all that you can be. It's like everything is opening up. I feel there's doors and doors opening, and it's like deciding to step through rather than sort of waiting for something to be really obvious. Sometimes we have to take the bull by the horns and charge. But I know that as I speak my word for Connor, that he will step forward on his path and he will clear the underlying issues. They will just disappear because he takes control. When he takes control of his life and makes the decision that he wants to make in relation to where he's heading, all will be well. And I give thanks for the knowing of this as I release this thought, knowing that it is done. I just feel it's done. It's just a little bit of time in there. So I give thanks for that. I give thanks for the knowing that I'm being shown what is happening. I also do a treatment for Jason and Singpet. And what I've written down here from what Kayla had written was that there is a rejoicing as Mina, which is Singpet's daughter, has her passport renewed. It's creating quite a conflict, this passport. But I just see rejoicing. That's what I see. Everyone rejoicing. It's done. It's happened. And all is flowing in the way that we need it and the way that it brings. And I give thanks as I release this by saying, for all that I've spoken so far. And so it is. Amen. Now, Kayla says blessings and love to all. Maggie G says, good evening, Norma. Blessings. Karen, dear Karen. Greetings, Norma. I love your... Yeah, it's actually a little top thing over here. I would love it, but thank you. I love a treatment for insight for the next step for me. So we've got 8, 5, and 13. Okay, so 8 is strength. 5 is knowledge, more knowledge. And 13 is the death symbol, which is the moving out of the old into the new. You're still in transition. One of the things I want to say is that you've already made a huge transition, but you're not completed yet. So you're in this other stage of transition. You've left, but you're not done. So the key here really is important is for you to recognize that you're still in transition. So there's still a feeling of uncertainty. There's a little bit like being on shaky ground or wet quicksand, but not that it drags you down. It's just boggy. And in the bogginess, excuse me, that's boggy for me for sure. In the bogginess, what ends up happening is that we begin to wonder what we really know and what we don't. Does this apply? Am I missing something? It's called time. I have a saying which says, now what does it say about time? I know I have a saying that I use for myself. That time is your friend is my saying that I use. Because sometimes we want it now. We want it yesterday. We want it all in that way. And the thing here, and that's what I'm saying here, Karen, is that you're in transition. So you need to be patient with the time. Remember, it is your friend. Everything adds, so everything is still adding, but you're in transition. You're still learning. You're still looking. You're still assimilating. You're making division as to what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. All of those things going on. I just think personally, looking at this, that you just need to relax and allow it to keep unfolding. Keep coming in weekly and we'll keep checking, but I just think we need to involve. We're already halfway where you need to be. It just needs a little bit longer, or maybe 3/4, but anyway. So time is your friend, my dear. Time is there to support you, and it will bring you to where you ultimately need to be. So I give thanks in the knowing of this as we release this by just saying, and so it is. The journeys always can be fun. Oh, Marie, my dear friend. Yeah. Okay. Bless you for your precious thoughts. I'm so glad that. My numbers are 15, 20, and 5. Well, okay. I'm just going to have this water again. I don't know what's going on with my throat this evening. I know what it is. I ate something a little later than I should have that I shouldn't have been eating. And I banged the table again. I rearranged my table because I moved something in from the outside. And so I haven't got it totally where it needs to be in all directions. That's life, though. When you think about the metaphor of that, that's very like life. You know, you got everything swinging along, looking really good. And then all of a sudden something wobbles. It's not wobbling now. That's nice. Because I had to change everything around. Anyway, my house is a bit of a mess. I sent a picture to my son this morning. We were talking about what I had done. He said, "Well, how did you do that?" Because he just took this chair out and I wanted the chair back in. And so I sent him a picture. He said, "I'm so proud that you did that." Because as you know, I've been pretty weak, especially on this arm over here. But it's coming along. It's still not bending properly. Still no earrings, but it's all in process, eh? All in process. Okay, Marie, my dear friend. 15. And I'm just going to tell you the cards, which you probably know already: the Devil, Judgment, and the Hierophant. So I guess I'm the Hierophant at the moment. Now, emotion. Now, I'm going to do a little spiel here for people that don't know a lot of what I teach about is that feelings are how the body talks to us. When we block them, or when they seem stuck, when they're not flowing, they become emotions. And when they become emotions, they kind of get bigger and they kind of take over. So instead of listening to the feelings, and I always say, name the feeling because the body feels heard. Oh, they heard me. This is what I want. And usually the feeling will dissipate. if you block it because you don't know what it is or what it means or what is going on, then it comes into an emotional, you're tied in with the emotion. And what it says here about acceptance is that sometimes we just have to accept this is how it is and breathe through it. And that 5 is like myself, being the Hierophant at the moment, is that's what it brings, is that you're actually opening up another field of awareness and understanding. But it's like allowing the, no, I'm retracting my words there. I'm not allowing. It's about naming the emotion, if you can, what it is, and just letting it be to dissipate. Think of a rainstorm. And then all of a sudden it starts dissipating and goes away and the sun breaks through. So when we tie into the emotion, because we may judge the emotion, we may feel that we shouldn't be having the emotion, which is kind of a judgment. Anything that pulls that in, what ends up happening, we just need to accept that it can leave. It's done its job. But you might have to untie it a little bit to find which, maybe sometimes the different feelings get caught in a lump because we haven't been naming the feelings. That's one of the biggest keys there is. Name the feeling that you're feeling and then see where that goes, which is really, really, really great. I give thanks in knowing, as I speak my word for Marie, knowing that she knows herself so well, that she's aware of what feelings and emotions are there so that she can accept them and know that whatever they're saying to her, whatever they're wanting to, it's almost whisper whatever the information is, that she's open and can receive it and can allow it to not fly, why I fly away, to flow so that all is well. I give thanks for this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And so it is. I'm going to write myself a little note here I want to talk about in a minute too. Okay, Karen Lee says thank you, and I was grateful. Karen Marcus says thank you, that's very helpful. Kayla says thank you for the insights, especially the celebratory joy. Say a prayer for yourself. Oh yes, we do that because I'm coming along quite well actually, except for this. But that's my fault. I realize I ate something I shouldn't have eaten. Now, last week, if you look back at my page, I had infections. And probably you didn't listen to my Wednesday talk, but I spent Tuesday thinking about this. What is this? That all these infections come up on this particular day. What's going on? Then I went to the dictionary, which I will often do. And sure enough, it talks about how we create. And so what I had already created is a talk, which I did on Wednesday, about how we have these parts in us that really is an infection that we pick up. And we make it a part of us. And it explodes sometimes into a situation like, that feels like an infection. But we are and do have. We call that mostly programming. Like, oh, we created a program, but not all programs are positive for us. So that was the part of being able to look at, and I talked about this last Wednesday. If you haven't seen the program, go back and take a listen. I think I did an okay job with that, but it was fascinating. As I sat down, I said, okay, you got to show me what's going on here. Why all these infections? And then it began to show me how everything fitted. No, that's not the right English. Fit together, how it plays and how it works and what it does. So you might want to see that. I just found it very, very interesting because, everybody would, like last week, it was infection. And even today, parts of that, what we're talking about were infections. So we are infected more ways than one. And when we begin to understand our infections, sometimes they manifest into a physicalness, but actually they're already in us. I don't think I said that in the program, but basically that's what it is. So it is something to look at, something to think about. What are the programs that are deep running that usually happen for me when I went back and looked at some stuff was my childhood. like childhood beliefs, attitudes, and judgments, things that had happened to me over which I had no control. So all of that was so to me fascinating. So I want to thank everybody that was part of that, because it opened up just a new awareness of how, when we make these programs, when we're little, we make decisions. Now, some of those decisions are based on other lives, so past lives play a part there. But the thing is, we just hold on the infection. We just take it on because we make those decisions, and then in those deep parts of our subconscious mind, we redo them, and we redo them again and again, because we will create situations where we're confronted with the same decisions, and therefore we make the same decisions again. And this is one reason I really like to do these mental mind treatments on the Monday night, because it helps clarify what really is going on. That's what I like to think it's doing anyway. So I wanted you to think about, if you haven't heard last Wednesday's little talk, yeah, think about it, because it really, you guys all inspired that because of all the infections, desires, getting rid of these infections. So now we know that there's another element to it. I just want to say, Marie says, thanks, Norma, for enlightening as always. Oh, lots of blessings to you. I do want to thank, for those that be listening that are new, the new subscribers. Again, we're slowly getting up there. I've got one more thing too I've got to remember. That really, if you can do thumbs up for me, if you can do comments to me, it's appreciated, but it also lets YouTube know that, people are listening or watching or whatever. I guess they keep an eye on most of, well, they send me it every month, and I'll be getting it after the end of the month, that tells how many new subscribers and how many minutes people have watched and all that. So I don't kind of keep track of that, but it's there. And I was thinking I better create a file for that as well. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say, I went to the movies yesterday. I was tired and I didn't want to do the house cleaning that needed being done. So I took myself off actually to see 2 movies, but one of them I recommend, if you can get to see If, that's all it says is If. I had tears in my eyes and cried a little bit several times, because it was so pertinent, so on. And it was really about how we forget the magic as adults. We forget the magic. And it was, I just think it was I nearly came home and did a movie review, but I was tired. So I haven't done it yet. I might still do it actually. But because that's how I began with my YouTube channel years ago, was doing movie reviews. And because I love going to the movies, and that's what I started doing. And so I don't do them, haven't done them for a long time, but this one is worth it. And if you ever get a chance to go and see it, I highly recommend it, because it's something that happens often as we get older. We forget the magic. We forget who we were and what we did. I don't, but other people do. I just wish I could dance like I used to be able to. But anyhow, that's the only thing. Anyway, I want to thank you all for your support every Monday night, because a lot of you come back again and again, which I appreciate. Every now and again, we do get some new people, but it's very nice to have you, and it's appreciative of it. Because most of you are all old timers, I'm just going to say my arm is coming back, but I can now lift it up, but I can't bend it properly. So and it hurts still. Yeah. It's all still swollen a bit back here, but that's coming along. And Kayla recommended a person for me to get in touch with, and she did some of her magic, and I feel a lot better internally now. So that was helpful too. So, we're all on the journey. We're all our minister that I trained with for a long time, and so did Kayla. It's like we're walking each other home. So we're all helping each other get there. And yeah, because I was getting a little down because of the pain, and because it sort of I was just about ready, and then it altered, and the pain was harder, and then the elbow went right back to not moving. But hey, shoulders moving, I can do certain things now, and it's quite strong. It's quite strong. So thank you, Karen Lee. Yeah, I know. And Karen often sends me healing too. So I appreciate it all of you who do that, because it's working. I'm getting to where I need to be, and I appreciate that. But just remember, put in your mind, the movie If is worth seeing as far as I'm concerned. I highly recommend it. In the meantime, I would see, I thank the new subscribers. I thank you for your comments. I thank you for your likes, thumbs up, as they say. And some of you share, which is great. And I give thanks. And I will be back on Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. Have a good night. Bye now.